What is going on, everybody? Welcome. Another action-packed episode of Chat with the Muskrat Creole. Now, as you can see tonight, it's just me. Roger will not be joining us tonight. He is visiting with his dad, who is not feeling 100% right now, so can definitely use some prayers out there for Mr. Roger Dement Sr. Hopefully he's back to the 100% as soon as possible so he can come hang out and chat with us. But as y'all saw in the title, thumbnail for today's video, today's show is all about what have we learned. That could cover a lot of different things. What have we learned about fishing? What have we learned about live streaming? What have we learned about the tackle we use? What have we learned about everything all through this year? Through some of the stuff that we've talked about and through some of the stuff that some of our great guests have talked about. So that's some of the stuff we might touch on tonight, kind of like a little year in review and kind of just a little hangout thing. It's not going to be, it's going to be an easy show tonight. Easy, smooth. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk. We're going to answer some questions, go over some stuff, whatever y'all want to talk about, something in particular, pop it up in chat. Hey, we'll talk about it, But until then, we're going to say hi to some people in chat. First up to bat tonight, my buddy Kelly with the Bulk Experience. What's going on, brother? Mr. Downtown Ernie Brown is in the house. Mr. Jeff Beal, one of my Louisiana brothers, Big Ranch Catfishing. What's happening, Brian? Good to see you, brother. Got Stonefly 71 in the house. Mr. Tommy, Mental Dunkers, what's happening? FOA Customs and Gear. He has been busy. Let me tell you, very, very busy. I get quite a few pictures from Freddie, some of the stuff that he's got going out. FOA is on the move, doing big things. I love it. My dad got a little bit of FOA gear for Christmas, set of his small size LR boards. So we could be doing some dragging for some sac-a-lait, possibly some barfish this year. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fun with that. Okay, who else we got in the house? Mike Sampson. What's going on, Zambi? Good to see you, brother. Let's see, scrolling on down the list. Oh, there's Dad. There you go. Yep, there you go. Thanks, FOA, for the boards. Can't wait to use them. That's what I'm talking about right there. Bugman22, what's going on, brother? Good to have you in the house. Mike Greenwell, the big fish assassin himself. He has been killing it lately. It's been awesome to see. Good to have you in the house, Mike. Fisherman Sid, what's going on? Welcome. Kentucky Redneck Outdoors. Another Mr. Big Fish Slayer, and now the Sturgeon Slayer. My buddy Jerry, Parker Pursuit. What's going on, man? Stan 3, another Big Fish Slayer. What's going on, Stan 3? We got all the celebrities in the house tonight. I love it. I love to see that. Speaking of celebrities, Palmetto Cats, Mr. Golden Whiskers himself. What's happening, brother? Good to have you in the house. Let's see who else we got in the house. And speaking of celebrities, Mr. Ted Ellebecker, what's going on, man? Good to have you in the house. We were talking about great guests just a second ago, and here we go. That was one of them. We're going to touch on some of that info just in a minute, because that info helped me in particular this year. I hope it helped y'all too, but definitely helped me. J&S Outdoors, what's happening? 72 Nova. Shout out from Central North Carolina. Well, welcome, buddy. Hey, another one of my RCT brothers. Lance McCoo, what's going on, brother? Good to have you in the house. Mr. Dale Hayslip, what's happening? Let's see. Facebook user, I can't see who you are. I don't have Roger's Facebook open on my stuff, but welcome. Like to try some of that FOA gear. Looks nice. Well, I'm sure somebody, including Freddie, would be happy to put Freddie's link up in chat for you to go check that out. But I can promise you, if you go to FOAcustomsandgear.com, you can go check it out for yourself. But that's where you'll go to find another Facebook user. Might be the same one. Like I said, I can't see names because I'm not on Roger's Facebook. Wabash Nate, what's going on? Let's see who else we got in the house. Chat is rolling. Another one of my River Cat brothers, Danny Stone. What's going on, man? Good to have you in the house, Danny. Trey Stroop, what's going on, man? Good to have you in the house. And speaking of tackle, Mr. River Cat's tackle himself, Mr. John. What's happening, Mr. John? Good to have you in the house, my friend. Got Daniel Barry Sports Highlights in the house. Been seeing you a lot in a lot of chats. Good to have you in the house, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Okay, caught up for the time being. As people come in, we're gonna say hi. We're gonna do our usual. And there's Brian posting up the link for FOA Customs and Gear. Like I said, I got a hold of his set of his small boards for Dad for Christmas. I really like them. Really, really like those small boards. Can't wait to go drag those around, see if we can have some fun with those, catching, sac-a-lait, barfish. Heck, we might do some bait fishing with them too. We'll just see how everything goes with them. Mr. Don Johnson, good to have you in the house. Okay, so like I said, some of what I wanted to touch on tonight was that this is the last show of this year of 2023, which to start off with, I cannot believe a whole year has gone by already. Cannot believe that Christmas was yesterday, and I hope Santa was very good to everybody. Santa was pretty good to me. Not gonna lie. In fact, I still have one present coming, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe tomorrow it's going to be a good one. But yes, Santa was very good to me. I got some fishing gear. I got all kinds of good stuff. It was awesome. It was a good year. But like I said, what have we learned can go to so many things. Like I said, it could be to fishing, it could be to the gear we use, it could be to how to do a better live show, how to be a better live streamer, how to be more safe when you're out on the water, whether it's on the bank or in a boat. We talked about boat gear. We talk about, proper ways of doing all these things. And there's so much to talk about with those things. I can share a little bit about like what's helped me this year be better, and when I say better, normally for me, improvement means I'm catching bigger fish. When I go out, that's my goal. I want bigger fish every time I go. Not necessarily numbers, but bigger fish. Now, getting better means different to everybody. Maybe you want to catch more fish than last time you went. Maybe you want to up the numbers game possibly. I think I'm a crappie day fish on. What's going on, brother? Also see River at 3030. Welcome, man. Good to have you in the house. To some people, it means catching more fish. Other people, it may mean catching a species of fish that you haven't caught yet. Checking a species off the bucket list. I kind of did that this year. Got a lot better with a certain species. We're going to touch on that. To some people, it may mean, well, hey, I've only fished this body of water. I want to travel and go fish other bodies of water and be successful. Well, hey, if you did that this year and you didn't do it last year, that's improvement. Maybe you're looking to fish tournaments for the first time and you haven't gotten in that before. Maybe you bought a boat for the first time and you learned how to get the boat out on the water and transition from bank fishing to boat fishing. Maybe you got better and improved as a bank fisherman. Maybe you upgraded your gear. There's so many different things that getting better means. And I think that's a little different for everybody. Maybe you did your first live fishing stream this year and you'd never gone live before. Hey, that's a big improvement. That is a big jump for somebody to take that's never been live on camera before. Trust me, it wasn't that long ago. It was my first time. And hey, it takes a little while to get used to doing those things. Oh, wait, I saw a highlighted comment. Learn to take pictures of low water exposed structures has been, yes, this low river drove some of us crazy. But then again, some of us, like Jerry talking about here, has learned to take advantage of that low water. It exposes things that we've never seen before. It's one thing to see it on electronics. It's a whole other thing to get out there and physically see it in the water. Take pictures, reference it, do whatever you got to do to remember what it looks like. There's many structures in the river that I saw on sonar. I never could identify them. Water got so low. Now I realize what it is this whole time and ended up catching fish on it for the first time. See, that was a new thing for me. Fishing spots I've never fished before. That was really cool. First football coach drilled this in our heads. Consistency is the mark of a champion. I would agree definitely from a competition perspective. If you're looking to compete, whether it be in all of the YouTube online challenges and tournaments you see going on, or whether it's at what I call the show up tournaments, the actual real show up, hold the fish up, weigh in tournaments. Same thing. Consistency will help you in the long run, especially in competition. And let's face it, as anglers, being consistent, being able to catch fish reliably every time you go out, that's a really good feeling. It is. It's a really, really good feeling to be confident that no matter what, you're confident you can catch at least a fish every time you can go out. That is a big accomplishment, and that's a big goal for somebody to set for themselves. Is be like, you know what, we're not skunking. That's it. No more skunks. It's tough. It's tough. I think everybody skunks. I think it's how often you skunk that makes the difference. I really do. But yes, consistency, big thing. Justin, my brother, what's going on, man? Good to have you in the house. Greg Bird is in the house. Let's see who else is joining that I may have missed. Yes, learn to trust what you're seeing on the electronics. Yes, that is a big thing that I improved with myself last year, was to really rely on my electronics to show me fish and to be confident. Like, hey, there's fish here, we're setting up, or there's no fish here, move on. That was a big thing for me last year that improved my catch ratio. I know that. Miss Paula Smith, what is happening? Good to have you in the house. Hope you're doing well. Let's see, FOA. Well, basically started up a business this year, right? It's been a year now for FOA, and I'm sure you've learned a lot, Freddie, and I'm sure you've learned a lot about what not to do. Opening your own business is a scary thing, I can only imagine. But hey, you're making waves already, and only going to go from there. I promise you, it's going to be a good thing. Mr. Aaron Grubb, what's happened? Yep, and that's what I keep telling myself too, is that next year should be amazing. Cannot wait to put this year's information into use for next year. Yeah, because I learned some stuff this year that I haven't had the opportunity to really put in practice yet. So there's that part of me that just can't wait to get there. Miss Laura the Explorer, what's going on? The Queen of Skunk. Yeah, but you know what, Miss Laura? You are a lesson in perseverance. Keep going. Keep going. Just keep doing it. Keep grinding away, and success will find you. I watched it happen for you this year. It was awesome to see. Look, it takes a while. It takes time. It takes time out there to get good at what you're doing. But we all watched you climb that hill and then start finding some success. So it was amazing to see. It really was. Sean T, what is happening? Consistent with not setting a hook the whole year of 23. We tried. We could not get together and fish. In fact, the one time you came fishing with me this year, unfortunately, we skunked. I am not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. We've got to put you on some big fish, some kind of way. But we are going to fix that, by God, some kind of way. Butterflies and sunshine, what's going on? Need to learn the patterns that catfish do different times of the year along with the weather patterns. That right there is going to depend very much on where you fish and what type of water do you fish. Do you fish a river with current, or do you fish lakes? I find on lakes, weather makes a bigger difference to me than on the rivers. To me, what the river is doing is a bigger factor to consider than the weather. And I say that because I've caught fish in all kinds of different weather. Behind a front, in front of a front, during a front, under a front, above a front, whatever. I've caught fish at all those times, and I have done horrible at all those times. But whether it's rising, falling, fast current, slow current, that has a bigger factor for me on the river. Lakes, yes. Water, weather, massive factor on the lakes. Rich, what's going on, man? Operations Vets with Nets, sporting the hat tonight. What's going on, brother? Good to see you in here. Let's see. I think I'm getting behind. I don't like that. Mr. Dave Funk. What is going on? Gonna not do things next year that didn't work this year. That right there says a lot. That takes a lot of self-awareness to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to quit doing that. Even though it's comfortable, it did not produce the results I wanted. We're going to stop doing that. I had to look myself in the mirror last year and say, okay, just because it's a good spot and we've caught fish there before does not mean you catch fish every time. If there's no fish there, go somewhere else. I had to get that in my head last year, and the results showed this year. Not as many fish, but better quality, which is what I'm all about. Love it. Trick is to remember what you've learned, or you'll just fall back into your same old tricks. That goes right along with what Dave was saying. Be honest with yourself. Remember, like, hey, you know what? That didn't work for me. Why am I doing it again? Don't keep doing something just because it's comfortable. Is it working or is it not working? If it's not working, then don't keep doing it. Do something different. Learn to give spots more time, especially if I catch big fish in that spot, because if it's good for one, it's probably good for at least two good fish. That is true in a lot of cases, depending on the spot. Just because you catch one good fish there doesn't mean you need to immediately get up and leave. There could be more nice fish in that area. It's happened to me quite a few times. Sometimes it's worth it to kind of hang out, give it a little time before moving on. But you got to know when to move on. That's always a trick. War pig catfishing in the house. What's going on, brother? Let's see. Let me kind of, Mr. Frank Lamprin, what's happening? Good to see you. 205 Wild Action. Hey, I just need the gas money to get to the lake this year. Yeah, that sometimes that's not an easy thing. That's not an easy thing to get gas money to go to the lake, because man, it happens. Maybe some ice fishing, channel catting. Open invite up here. I appreciate it. I appreciate the invite, but ice fishing, no, nope, not me. I have to say, there's many things on my bucket list. Ice fishing is not one of them. It is definitely not. Hard to give up on a spot that you consistently mark big fish on that never bite. That could be two things. Okay, timing is everything, right? Fish don't eat all the time. They don't. So, are they catfish that you're marking? That's the first thing. Are they catfish? If you're positive they are catfish, for some reason you're either not giving them the bait they want to see, or you're just not hitting them in a time that they're active. There's many times I mark fish, and through some of our guests that have taught us that on this show, I have learned to recognize what an active fish and what an inactive fish looks like on sonar. That has helped me a lot with not wasting time on fish that I'm not sure I can get to bite. I will move on, try to find some fish that are more active, that are more willing to take a bait. That has been a big thing for me. My definition of an ice fish is when I stick my hand way down in the cooler looking for that last beverage. You kind of got to roll around that ice for a little while. That's ice fishing to me. That's about the closest I'm going to get right there. With the boat to learn, I have options not to sit too long and able to use more techniques. That is a mouthful right there. You can do a whole show on what you just talked about, Jerry. And I know it's hard for some people that have been diehard bank anglers that are used to just putting in that time to all of a sudden now you're mobile. You don't have to stay there. So now there's that big decision of, okay, do I stay or do I go? Me, I get very restless. After about 30 minutes with no bites, anybody who's been in the boat with me can tell you that. I start looking around. I start, okay, where's the next spot? Where's the next spot? Right about the time I'm just about getting ready to stand up and say, take them up, we gone. That's usually when I start getting bit. Happens every, but you have to be serious about it. You have to be serious about moving for one to bite. I definitely learned that. Well, Miss Michelle, welcome and Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you had a good one. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I ice fish year round, if that's the case. I just had to get that definition out there to make sure that everybody understood. More water in the rivers. Yeah, you and me both, because they have got a couple of ramps, boat ramps that I can't even use right now. I could walk between the ramp and the water right now. So yeah, more water in the river is definitely on my bucket list. Let me tell you, plus ice fishing. Yeah, and look, I get it. It's a big thing. I get it. I don't like the idea of standing on top of ice. I know you can drive a truck on it. I know all of those things. Does not make me feel any better. It does not. I just can't bring myself to do it. It's not happening. Let's see. Mark fish in our regular spots every time. You can mark them and come out a couple hours and they move. Yeah, they will. They will move around. I've seen that more than once. I've seen set up on some fish, throw some baits at them. Nothing. Pick up. I always rescan my spots before I completely move out, and I've seen those fish move. I've seen them move within the spot. Because some of my spots you could put a house in, right? They're big areas, big scour holes, big ledges. It's not just a little bitty spot. And they'll move. They'll move to a different spot within the spot, right? Remember, we learned that spot within a spot. A lot of times when I find them that second time, that's when I get them to bite because they moved for some reason. So there's some level of activity there, right? If I didn't get them the first time, I'll get them that second time when they moved. That's a little secret there that I've kind of picked up. Now, I'll only do that if it's some really good marks. I won't do that just for any mark. If it looks like quality fish to me, I'm willing to make those laps, search for them again, find them again, and then set up on them that second time. But like you said, sometimes they're just gone. They moved where they moved to. Sometimes you don't know. I've had it happen many times where I swear there was 100 fish there. Set up, maybe catch one or two, then nothing. Go scan around and they disappear. It's happened to me more than once, but for whatever reason, they move. Let's see. Ice fishing. Yeah. Ice fishing could also go for bait. Fishing for that last slicker in the bottom of the ice chest because you swore you had 10 and you only used 9 and you're digging around for them. Yeah, that could be ice fishing too. And your hands freezing because you've still got salt in the ice. Let's see. Don't drive our trucks on the ice. Yeah, I wouldn't drive like anything. Like, nope. I just don't like the idea of all that. And the whole thing of, oh, well, when the ice cracks, that's a good sign. No, it's not. No. That depends. Okay. That for me, and keep in mind, I fish the Mississippi and the Chaffalaya rivers, really deep rivers, really fast rivers for most of the year. So kind of take that into account with any advice I give anybody. Okay. When I don't find them, usually I'm anchor fishing most of the year. That's usually what I'm doing. I'm, spot locked maybe, but I'm anchored. My boat is still, and I'm throwing baits at them in a still position. I'm not moving. A lot of times, if I find them, don't get them to bite, and I have to find them again, a lot of times what I'm doing the second time is I'm suspending right over the top of them. A lot of times that's my second method for getting on top of the fish, because at that point, I want to keep them on sonar at all times, and I want to actually put baits right in front of them that I can see. I can see my bait and I can see the fish. That way I can make a 100% decision on, can I catch this fish or not? In 10 minutes, if I put that bait right on top of those marks, right on them, and I still can't get bit, in 10 minutes, I'm gone. Because I've thrown baits at them. Now I'm putting baits right on their nose. They don't get it in 10, I'm out. They are obviously not active. They ain't wanting what I'm giving them. I'm gone. I'm going to find some active fish. That's how I normally do things. Unless it's in really fast water and I can't suspend, I'm going to re-anchor. I'm going to re-throw at them. I'm going to get more accurate with my anchoring position. I'm really going to dial it in to where I'm confident that I'm casting right in their face. A little more precision in how I'm setting up the boat and how I'm throwing back at them. Let's see. Zach Murray, what's going on? Zach, good to have you in the house, brother. And I see Chad. Speaking of Santa being good to people, okay, new rods and a beautiful new truck. Santa, he must have been very good this year. That's all I can say. Very, 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 very good this year. Mike, I tend to do that too. Not 100% if it's a good idea or not, but I do the same thing just because if it's a bigger mark, I just want him that much more. And plus, some of the teachings that we went over this year has taught me that the big fish, you need to give them just that little extra time. It's not, but to me, it's a mental thing. I know it's a good fish, and it just breaks my heart to move without getting bit. So I'll talk myself into 5-10 more minutes in a situation like that. If it's just a really, really nice mark, you just want him that much more. I definitely get that. Learn how important boat position is. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes it's a matter of moving the boat 15 feet upriver or deeper in the channel of the ledge. Same can be said from the bank. Yes, boat position, because that affects your bait position. It's all about having your bait in that ideal spot. 6 feet can make or break it. It's especially this time of year. The fish are less active. They're not going to just chase baits this year. You're really going to have to right here with that bait. 6 feet is everything, especially now. So that little bit of boat position, that little bit of positioning, that little bit of casting in that certain spot from the bank makes all the difference in the world right now. Hi, honey. She's over here in the next room. But hi. When I do a show by myself, she always comes check on me to be sure I'm doing good with the show. I'm not getting nervous. And if I am nervous, she starts trolling me and making jokes. So it's gonna happen. She'll start trolling me anytime now. But it's okay. I still love her. She was good to me for Christmas this year, so I'll keep her around till next year. I renewed her contract for one more year. The next, you're in the next room. Gotcha. But again, what did we learn? I personally, I'm gonna go talk about myself here just for a second. Forever, I've been trying to get better at targeting yellowcat, flatheads. I would catch one or two a year by accident, basically. The one line I would throw towards the bank, I'd catch a couple a year. Can never say I was successful in actually targeting yellowcat and catching them. Every one I caught was a surprise. I will tell you right now. And we had a couple of guests on the show that I feel that's what they specialize in. Ted Ellebecker really shines to me in that respect. And I really had to back up and take a hard look at what I was doing wrong. And even some questions that I asked him specifically, like, okay, what do you think a blue cat fisherman does wrong when trying to target flatheads? I took a lot of that advice to heart, really took a hard look at where I was fishing. It was a location thing for me. I just wasn't fishing in flathead waters. I was not in the right spots. If they're not there, you're not going to catch them. Okay, that's a pretty obvious thing. And long story short, because of really being honest with myself and what I was doing right and wrong, I caught more yellowcat this year than probably I have total since I started doing YouTube. I caught, I think 14 or 15 this year. Y'all got to see two of the biggest yellowcat that I've caught in many, many years. Y'all got to watch me catch them live on camera on this show. And that was thanks to some of the advice that we got from guys like Ted who specialize in these things. And they say, and basically like, hey, you're not looking at this right. You need to look at this. And I caught him off the bank. Caught him off the bank, mind you. So very much looking forward to and finally it kind of had that aha moment, like, I understand what's going on here. I understand now what I've been doing wrong. Now I can't wait to apply that this spring and early this summer out of the boat in these areas in the river that I really feel that they are, kind of put into practice all this stuff that I learned. I definitely on the right track because I was successful this year, but we're gonna try to up the game a little bit. But it was definitely a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, that's because to me that was the ultimate success, was not just catching the numbers, which I posted on Facebook and everything now, but catching those big ones. Because y'all know how I am. I am a trophy hunter. One big fish is a successful mission to me, and that's where I had to zone in at. And hey, you know what? It worked. It worked. I'm so glad it worked. I was so happy. It's only going to get better from here. Bon June Jody, what's going on? Good to have you in the show, girl. Let's see who, and I didn't miss anybody else. But Shizzle, what's going on, man? Mr. Live Scope himself. I think it was this year. I think. But I remember we had him on the show and opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. Some of the images that he showed us on Live Scope. I would love to have Live Scope to just sit there and watch the fish. Watch it like a TV show. Just sit there and watch them behave, watch what they do. I'd probably never throw a rod in the water. I'm just so busy watching them. It's an amazing thing. But it's amazing the information that gets passed on in a year, and I look back to last year where I was and especially the things that I thought I knew to now after listening to all these experts weigh in on all these great subjects. And it kind of makes you rethink a lot of stuff that you thought you knew, but really you didn't. And there was sometimes I realized that I was being successful, but not for the reasons I thought I was being successful. And once I had a better understanding of what was going on, because I couldn't figure out sometimes why can I be so successful here in this situation, but why am I not successful over here in what I thought was the same situation? Couldn't figure it out. Well, now I understand it's not the same situation. It's different. Now that I've learned that, I've started being successful in these other bodies of water, not to the point I want to be, but we're getting there. The Skunk River, I call it, the Red River. I've actually caught fish in that river the past couple of times I went. Nothing big, no big numbers, but I'm catching fish where I skunked 5 times in a row there previously. We're getting there. And it's learning from Zach, from Roger, from all these guys that do a lot of dragging. I don't do that very much, but that body of water is perfect for that. I've learned a lot from them, put it into practice, even had Roger basically critique me live while I was trying to drag, and it worked. It worked. And when I started understanding what he was telling me, like, okay, I get it now. I'm getting better at it. So it makes a big difference. We learned this year how important having a down rod is. Yes, 99% of the time we have 2 FOA rods straight down. Amazing how many times those 2 rods outfish all the other rods. I do that when the current's not too bad. I will put a down rod. Sometimes the current for me is just too fast. I'd have to have 4 pounds of lead to hang that thing straight down. But I have learned to put one close to the boat, and then some further away. You know, I do a down rod as best I can. And there are certain situations where that down rod will outright catch fish. There's sometimes it's the one all the way furthest in the back is the one that wants to catch fish. Still things I'm trying to figure out, but I always have to have that spread. 2024 goal, new flathead PB. I'm with you, Mike. Mine is low, actually. My PB is very low, actually, on that. 40. I think I can do much better than that. I know there's way bigger than that out there, and it's been a very long time since I've caught that fish. Very, very, very long time. The closest actually, the one that my buddy Matthew caught when we were bank fishing on the live would have probably come very close to that PB, if not beaten it. It was at least a 40-pound fish, maybe closer to 45. Didn't have a scale with me. I was just going off of weight, just picking him up and length. But hey, at least I got that close to it. So now I'm a little more confident that I can do better. I just have to get in a little more big fish water is all. Now that I understand what yellow cat big fish water is, totally different than blue cat big fish water. I had to learn that. I had to kind of ask myself some very hard questions. I've learned the work never stops and is never ending. Yeah, look. Yeah, same with me. Very, very busy with these big jobs that we do. I don't get to go fishing nearly as much as I would like to. Therefore, I have to make the absolute most out of every minute I have to fish. That's why I'm so big on using these tools at home. The Google Earth Pro, the Navionics, watching the river gauges, like all these things that already put information in my head. That way, when I hit the water, I don't have to figure it out from scratch. I have an idea of what's going on, and hitting the water, I can put the rest of the little pieces together in the puzzle, and I am gone. It makes me more efficient. That one trip every 2 weeks that I get to make, I can make the most out of it because I've done my homework when not on the water, and helps me narrow down where I need to be. I don't have to just start from scratch and trying to look fish, Take time from actual fishing and do some scouting from new areas. Yeah. And look, Jerry, I'm with you. That's something I have to do. I have to get out of my comfort zone and go fish some of these new areas that I keep saying I'm going to go fish, but I just always talk myself out of it, because there's that little fear of what if I don't catch anything? Look, there was a time where I couldn't catch anything no matter where I went. It took time. I learned. I'll never learn if I don't go, so I just have to break down and say, you know what, the heck with it. Load up the boat and just go, just go do some riding, do some scouting, go check it out, Fat Cat Fishing, welcome. What's going on? Let's see, to the local Ohio crowd, 25 spots left in Bink and Janet's Vinton County Cancer Research Gallipolis tournament out of 85 spots. I had to take my time with that one and not screw it up. I was fixing to trip all over that one. But hey, 25 spots left. So if anybody's interested, somebody wants to throw up a link or whatever y'all have for that, put the word out. Hey, be my guest. Throw it up on my page, Roger's page, wherever y'all want. Roger has 2 empty bedrooms. You and Ken. I love it. You invite someone to stay at somebody else's house. I love that. But I'm sure Roger's all for it too. I tell you what, Jerry, if you get any bigger of a PB, dude, you're going to be in the triple digits. Because your PB right now is 92, 91, 92. I mean, you're knocking on the door of a 100-pound fish. That's been my goal for a long time, is a 100-pound fish. I know that's everybody's goal, but when you fish in waters that is proven, that has a decent population of 100-pound fish, you're more determined. I know they're there. I have seen them. I personally feel I should have caught one by now, but I just haven't got there yet. I haven't done enough work to get there yet. We will, though. We will. New PB, any species. Look, the PB is good. Look, PB is good. We're going to start doing that next show whenever Roger's back and we start kind of, because I'll be honest, I'm not geared. I don't have access to it right now, but we will be doing Kelly's spotlights, his weekly spotlights on this show from now on. So that'll be a little change for next year, a little something different. Like I said, we're learning new things, but we will be doing that as well. Thank you for reminding me, Kelly. 100 up here is record size fish, very few and far between. I mean, 100 and up is very, very rare anywhere. I don't want to make it sound like they're catching 50 a year up here. That's not the case. But there's a few that get caught every year, but in the commercial nets, but alive, and they get released alive. I want to make that very clear. Our commercial guys do not keep big fish at all. They catch them in the nets. They weigh them on the boat while they've got them. They put them back alive. I know they're there. It just it makes it a little tougher when you know they're there and you just hadn't quite got one yet. Rod and reel is a totally different story, though. Going to try to catch a lake trout and post on Facebook. New PB. Hey, I've never caught a lake trout, so I guess if I would catch one, it'd be a new PB for me too. If you've never caught one before, the first one's always a PB, right? That's easy. State record is 90 plus. Ours is 112 here for blues, and I think it's 96 or 97 for yellowcat. I tell you right now, that record for blues should be a lot higher than 112. But just nobody reports anything around here. That's just how it is. I heard about this too, that West Virginia record had finally gotten broken, 69-ish. You would think it'd be a bigger record in West Virginia. You would think that, but then again, I'm not that familiar with the area. Yeah. Yep, I did see that. There's certain guys that just they seem to be on those big fish. I know Zach Royce is one of them. I know Micah this year, I mean, twice, broke his own record twice, I mean, and there's a lot more big fish that I see getting caught countrywide. And I think as a whole, I think catfishermen are getting better at targeting these bigger fish. I think that's number one reason. I think thanks to social media, you hear about them much more than you used to 5-10 years ago. And I also think that in some areas, the catch and release, the CPR, the management is finally getting a little better and getting to a point to where these big fish are going back. And I mean, Micah, for example, he's 90% certain that he caught the same big fish twice. He's very certain of that. Very hard to prove it, but he's very certain of it. Hey, I'm not going to argue with him at all because it very well could be. And that's just an argument that CPR works, that they're catching these big fish multiple times, It makes a big difference when you know it's working. Missouri record blue is 130 pounds. See, that's closer to what I think Louisiana's ought to be. I'll be honest with you. I think the Louisiana record should be, 130, 140, something like that. It's shocking that it's not. I just think it's a thing of not many people truly trophy catfish in this area, not like in other areas. And I think when they do, nobody really cares enough to report it. I'll be honest, there's not. Of the few guys that do it, there's a very small percentage of those guys who are actually willing or care enough to report a record and go through the process. I'll be honest. Let's see. Going for a state record in Tennessee next year. I want to see a female angler have a mad catch rod after them. Nice goal. I like that. Yeah. And look, it takes the time. It does. It takes the time. And especially for you, Jody, and I say this in a very positive way, your willingness to learn. I think you've really, really, really come around in your willingness to learn and ask questions and the questions you're asking are getting better and better. I like that. I like when, because you can tell when a good educated question gets asked. That means that people are learning. Because every time you learn something, it sometimes leads to two more questions. And that willingness to ask and not being too proud. I suffer from that sometimes too. Not being too proud to sit there and ask a question, say, "Hey, I don't know. What are you talking about?" Or what is this? It's a big thing. It's that whole being self-aware kind of thing. Always something to learn. Always, always, always. Let's see. 120 pounds record blue, 80 pounds for rough. That's some pretty good records. Kid in the candy store at Sandusky Bay. 3 channels in a tournament over 20 pounds. The state record is 37. I can't imagine a channel cat that big. They get 3-4 pounds here. You catch a 5-pound channel cat here that's not in a farm pond. That is a massive fish. And I said my PB channels, I don't know, 3-4 pounds. I can count on both hands the ones I've caught in 5 years. We don't have a lot of them here. The ones we have are small. It's not something we really deal with. So to imagine channel cats getting that big, that's a wild thought for me. It really is. Dan, good time God service. Merry Christmas. What's going on, buddy? Merry Christmas to you too. I hope Santa was good to you. I really do. Caught an 87-pound flathead on the Tennessee. Ooh, that's a stud. That is a stud. That is the truth, because they know, and that's not going to happen, because when I'm in the boat, I let them go grab the rods, and they'll tell me, "Oh, you go." I'm like, no, y'all go get them. Y'all, as long as the big fish comes in my boat, I'm happy. It doesn't make that much of a difference to me if I reel it in or not. It really doesn't. As long as it hits the deck of my boat, I'm good. I almost prefer somebody else to reel it in other than me. That's kind of the state of mind I've gotten in over these past 2 years. That kind of what has the fishing guide thing rolling around in my head is like, I'm just as happy letting somebody else reel in a fish. Sometimes more. Look, it was only going to happen so long before somebody was going to start with the jokes in chat. And speaking of that, Jerry, you need to go back and watch the live from Catfish Weekly from last night, because I personally had no idea that you were dual talented, that you also were a musician that plays a certain instrument. You need to go check that out on Catfish Weekly to see what I'm talking about. And nobody cheat. Nobody put it in chat. He has to go watch it. But I had no idea Jerry was dual talented. No idea. You can thank your buddy Josh Dunnigan for that one, for revealing that musical talent that you have. Somebody's going to put it in chat. I know it's going to happen. Hey, look, we all can't be good at everything. Okay, you got to know your weaknesses. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, Dan, I tell you, somebody, was it Roger, had asked me, hey, send me a picture of you holding a big fish for this week's thumbnail. I think it might have been like a week or two ago. I had a hard time. I had to go really back and find one. I have a ton of pictures of like Dad and Gabe and everybody else holding big fish. I had to look back to find one of me. But hey, I'm perfectly okay with that, because as the captain, I get 13% credit for all fish caught. I'm upping it, but due to inflation, this year it was 10%. This year it's going to be 13% credit. You got to, inflation, everything's going up. So I'm claiming a little more credit this year. You got to do it. Same way. So busy. Yeah, exactly. I am actually going to start this year, and she's going to fuss at me. She's going to fuss at me when I'm going to say this. I'm going to do more fishing by myself this year. I'm going to, and I'm going to get protests for it. I'm going to do a little more fishing by myself, simply because I can't always just stay home because somebody's not coming with me. That has cost me too many trips in the past. I'm just going to start making some trips by myself. That's not many. I'm going to keep my promise, but we'll be making some more, a few more solo trips this year. I'm just going to have to. Yeah. I was in the ER last night. Oh, wow. Well, it was a good one, though. I'm just saying it was good. And I was very disappointed that you weren't there to defend yourself because it was so good. I would have loved to have heard your comeback for that. But, hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. But, again, I think this is the time of year where everybody kind of sits back, looks over the past year and says, okay, last year at some point, I promised myself that I would do this, 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 and this. So now here we are a year later. And have I done last year what I said I was going to do? I did a little bit of it. Work got in the way some, but you know what? I can't always use that as an excuse because you know what? I work right next to the river. There's sometimes I can sneak away and, not away during hours, but, there's sometimes I can do a little fishing off the bank or something like that. I have to create opportunities for myself to do a little more fishing, and that's just kind of how it is. Me and you are going to fish together, John. We should have done it already, to be honest with you, but we're going to make some trips. Don't you worry about that. We are definitely going to make some trips. Mr. Randy, what's going on? No. Kayak is right up there with ice fishing on the not going to happen list. You are not getting all of this in a kayak comfortably. And I mean mentally comfortable. No. Nope. I applaud the guys that do it. I think y'all are some warriors. Not me. Rowdy Raw, what's happening? Yeah, 1 week left to go along. Yeah, because during hunting season, I lose a lot of my fishing partners during hunting season. It's been a thing. It's been a thing. But hey, Gabe gets to spend his quality time with Dad going hunting because I really don't hunt anymore. I haven't done it in years. But you know what? Hey, it's a great thing. They have their season to do that, and it's gonna be fishing time again really soon for them. It's always fishing time for me. No. Just no. No, not happening. Yeah, kayaks and ice fishing, not happening. Nope. There's a lot of, there's a lot of crazy stuff I'll do. Don't get me wrong. A lot. But that just ain't, nope. That ain't one of them. Kayak ain't happening, buddy. I do own a kayak. It's right here. It's 20 feet long and 8 foot wide, and it's made of aluminum. Closest I'm getting to a kayak. Yeah, that is a hard no. A hard no. You can talk me into a lot of things, especially some people know that about me. If you poke at my ego a little bit, you'll probably talk me into doing some stuff. Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, me too, Jerry. I wanted, and I know as a river rat crew, we haven't done much in a while, just we've been so busy. And hey, and that's fine. That's how it goes. But you see what you say about other folks from the catfish family. There's gonna be more of that. There has to be. I have to fulfill promises that I made last year that I never got to this year, and that is unacceptable. Many things that I talked with people about doing that we never got to do, that is going to change this coming year. It might mean that I can't do some of the challenge, like I call it challenge, YouTube tournament commitments that I normally do. May mean I have to back away from some of those things to make room for these things. But hey, that's okay. When you're limited on time, you can't do it all. You got to make choices. What do I want to do? What do I not want to do? What do I have time to do? It's all in the what did we learn theme. Sometimes you have to be honest yourself with your schedule, your time that you have available, and say, okay, you know what? I can't do everything. What can I do and what can I do? What is going on, Charlie? Hey, It, sporting the pin tonight. Thank you very, very much for that. I will have this on this hat from now on, buddy. Appreciate it. And these little hat pins. See if I can show the camera here without it. These things are great that I got from Charlie with River Chronicles. Awesome, awesome little decoration to have on the hat. I just have to be careful not to poke myself when I fix my hat. But it is awesome. But that's the stage we're all in right now. Year's coming to an end, new year beginning, and I know for me personally, it was a great year overall. The YouTube channel did not grow a whole lot this year, but I'm okay with that because to grow a YouTube channel requires a lot of time, and that's just time that I didn't have this year, and that's fine. But it grew for me in other ways. It grew for me with the partnerships I've made this year, some of these companies I've got involved with. I mean, first off, these guys here, River Cats Tackle, it took a while for me to find a company, a family that really just fit exactly what I'm about, what I like doing. River Cats Tackle is that place for me. I mean, we're like a family there. We talk a lot, bounce off a lot of ideas. Great partnership that I made this year. Another great thing that I did this year that I'm now very happy to be a part of is the Operation Vets with Nets. I'm now officially the lead contact for the state of Louisiana for Operations Vets with Nets. So, you know what? If anybody y'all know in my area, use a little bit of real therapy, come out on a fishing trip, get in contact with me. We can take them out through the foundation, and give back to some of our vets. That's just some of the things that I've been involved with this year that I'm very, very proud to be involved with, and absolutely could not do any of this stuff without all of y'all support in chat. Always positive feedback I'm getting from everybody. It is a great thing. And that's part of what I think that is what keeps me doing all this YouTube stuff. Because I'll never be a successful YouTuber, make a living off of this and none of that stuff. At this point, that's not what it's about for me. I have so many friends in this chat right here, up and down, that I've made over the years of doing this YouTube. All these great relationships that we've built through people, through companies, through families, and all this stuff. And at this point, that's what it's all about now. It's all about y'all, the guys who watch, the guys who watch and support me and Roger doing this show, which is not going anywhere anytime soon. I promise you. If any of y'all hoping that y'all might be getting rid of me and Roger anytime soon, not happening. We are going to stick around for as long as both of our schedules will allow it. I promise you that. Not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, hopefully we're going to do even better shows, better information, great guests, some of which we've had in the past, new guests that we're trying to get on the show. We're going to make the show even better this coming year because our number one goal, always our goal, is to help y'all catch fish. That is our goal. That will always be our goal, to help y'all be successful, whether it's catching bigger fish, catching more fish, fishing new waters, being comfortable to go out on the water for the first time, being safe, fishing tournaments, whatever it may be. We want to help y'all be more successful. It's just as simple as that. And the messages and things that we get from y'all, guys, it means the world to Roger and I. It really does. He and I talk all the time about, hey, so-and-so reached out to me and asked this question, or, said that they caught fish based on what we talked about. Guys, that stuff means the world to us. It really does. It's awesome. It keeps us going. It motivates us to be even better. So thank y'all very much for and I speak on Roger's behalf too. It would not be the same without y'all support. I promise y'all. So next year, we're going to look forward to even bigger and better things. We're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to help y'all catch fish. So you know what? Until then, guys, we are at an hour. I'm going to cut out for the night. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Y'all have a happy new year, and we will see y'all next year. Bon pêche, everybody. Good night.